Hey Eurovision fans, it's time for another Eurovision news update. Coming up today, Smthngnw have withdrawn from representing Montenegro. We have confirmation of another new country for Eurovision 2025. We have artist announcements from Sanremo in Italy, Supernova in Latvia, and the final list from Melfest in Sweden. I've also got a ton of national final news for you from Norway, Ireland, Albania, Netherlands, Slovenia. Loads to talk about. Let's kiki. Welcome, my name is Tom, I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. Bam! Straight into a costume change. There's going to be a couple of costume changes today because I filled this over 2 sessions. So much has been happening in December. Let's quickly go through the Eurovision World calendar just to get a recap of what's been going on and what's coming up this month. So on December 4th we had the release of the songs from Supernova. I did a reaction video to that and an analysis video as well. Croatia announced their artists for Dora. Estonia released their songs for Istilau. 15 of the 16 songs are known now. I've done a reaction video to that and my analysis video to that is coming out when I film it, probably tonight or tomorrow. And on the exact same day we also had the release of the 30 songs for Albania's Festival Kungas. I haven't done a video for that yet. I'm planning to hopefully do it tomorrow. 30 songs, pray for me people. And then on the 11th of December, we have the announcement for Czechia's artists coming out. That's really super exciting as well. We're getting the artists for Malta's national final on the 12th of December. Benidorm Fest, we already know the artists, but the songs are being released on December 18th. I will definitely try and cover that as soon as I can. I'm gonna have everything ready. I'm gonna be going boo, 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 boo. Boo, boo, boo. That's not the noise that guns make. Pew, pew, pew. I'm going to be very, very prepared, hopefully. And then we're going straight into Festival Kungas on the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. What is happening to December? February used to be the month of pure and utter Eurovision chaos, and December now, things are being a bit more spread out. I have to admit, I really do love this because I hate the way that February is just like this chaotic stress fest. Spread out the love a little bit, national finals. This is much more balanced, but yes, December is definitely in full force this year. Okay, our main story is that we have breaking news from Montenegro that this year they will be represented by Nina Zizic. And this was announced this morning on Montenegrin television. So in case you've missed out on all of the juicy Monte-DRAMA, the day after Smthngnw won Monte Song, a video emerged of them performing their song Clickbait, an early version of it, at a festival in Montenegro in 2023 to around 20 or so people. Now, initially on Instagram, Smthngnw were contesting this. They were bringing up previous examples of songs having been performed before the September 1 deadline, most famously Jamala from 2016, who after she won, it emerged that she had performed the song before. Other examples, I believe, are Aiko from Czechia last year. Duncan Lawrence, I think, had also performed a working version of Arcade. I think there's a couple more. Generally what happens is this information comes out and nothing really happens. So in case you don't know, this September 1st rule states that songs should not have been performed or released before September 1st. I believe the main purpose of it is so that there's not an unfair advantage for some contestants over others. So if we mindlessly follow the rules, yes, Smthngnw did break it. But if you look at what the actual meaning of the rule is, performing in a teeny tiny concert in 2023, a working version of the song to 20 people doesn't really give them an unfair advantage in Monte Song. In any case, it really looked like they were contesting on Instagram. We had a couple of days of silence and then all of a sudden Smthngnw voluntarily withdraw. Very suspicious, very unlike their initial post on Instagram. One of the reasons they cited implied that things had already gotten beyond the music, so basically they were kind of possibly already done with all the drama, but they were also very justifiably arguing that performing at this concert didn't give them an advantage. It wasn't even the final version of the song, it was like a demo version. In any case, a couple of days of radio silence again, and this morning we get the announcement that Nina Zizic, who was second in the contest but 4th in the televote, so she didn't come second in the televote, Barjak did, but maybe the rules stated that second place overall is the next choice. She will be going to Basel. So she is going to be the first person from Montenegro to represent them twice. She was an unnamed featured artist in 2013 with a Granka. I'm not sure why her name wasn't put in the artist title because she did all the singing in the song. Anyway, now she gets to have her name actually up in the light, so that's good. What are my thoughts on this? Overall, I think this is shady as F. This is just my opinion, speculation. At the end of the day, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But my impression is that RTCG did not like Smthngnw as an act. They didn't think that they were strong enough. Obviously, from their perspective, they want something that they think has the best chance to qualify. I actually thought it did have a decent chance to qualify because the public can really love something that's very fun and spunky and got some humor to it. But maybe the broadcaster saw that there was a huge amount of negativity towards the choice. And really my impression is that they used a technicality to put pressure on them to withdraw. Just my 2 cents. You can have a different opinion if you want, but that's how it looks like to me. And then after they withdrew, maybe they spoke to a couple of people behind the scenes and Nina was the most keen, or maybe it was just written in the rules. On top of this, the music director Vladana submitted her resignation at the same time that all of this was happening. I believe it was the same time that the video came out. I don't know the exact order of when she left, but yes, Vladana has retired. I believe she was doing the job as music director pro bono, but she's been a huge person trying to organize this. She was one of the hosts this year. So very, very sad to see her go. Overall, this just looks so freaking messy. It doesn't look good for RTCG. Not a great start to the season. On the plus side, they've got plenty of time to try and turn things around, which I think they will need. I don't think that Nina's song is currently a qualifier, but they have tons of time to revamp the song, revamp the staging, come up with new concepts. So it definitely has potential. I will now do my Montenegro analysis video. I was waiting for them to actually finally pick which song was going. Now they've made a decision. Everyone will have forgotten about this by the time we get to May. But yes, not a great initial start for Montenegro's return. But if it ends well, everyone will forget about it. Okay, moving on to something that is hopefully less dramatic. We have the 30 artists for Sanremo 2025. A lot of interesting names this year. Of course, Sanremo is very good at being able to attract the biggest of Italian pop music. So let's look at the first 15 names, and we can see already we have Achille Lauro, who represented San Marino in 2022 non-qualifying with Stripper. That was such an entertaining performance. So he's back again. We also have Francesco Gabbani, who you may remember from 2017, who was the favorite in the odds to win. But the staging in the end was a little bit underwhelming. Definitely didn't make the most of a really, really fantastic song. That song was #1 in my rankings for a long time in 2017. We also have Rose Villain, who I thought was really interesting last year. Great to see her coming back. Irama, who's been in the contest, I think 3 times before. He's come 5th, 4th, and 5th. So someone who you would expect to be in the top 5, has a really, really, really big following. We have Clara, who was in the song last year with a kind of dancey beat. She's back again. We have another previous winner, Massimo Ranieri, who was in Eurovision 2071 and 73, I believe. Yes, and he came 5th and 13th. So someone from a previous generation coming back. Let's see if he can get his 3rd time at Eurovision. Of those other names I didn't mention, a lot of them are returning artists. Komokose are coming back for their 3rd attempt. Gaia's on her 2nd attempt. Willy Peyote came 6th in 2021. This is going to be the 8th appearance for Noemi. And let's go on to the second 15. We can see Fedez, who came 2nd in 2021 with Francesca Michelin. We also have Simone Cristici, who previously won Sanremo, but didn't go to Eurovision because it was during that period where Italy didn't go. Also, I think Georgia was the same. She also won, but didn't go to Eurovision. So some big previous Sanremo winners here. We have the Colors, who you may know from Frida Mai Mai Mai, and also last year, Una Ragazzo and Una Ragazza, which was the music video that had Blanca in it, which if you saw my Italy video last year gave me a huge shock. We also have Marcella Bella, who I believe had competed a lot in the 90s, then ran for European Parliament, and then she entered Una Voce por San Marino last year. I think she came 6th in the final. So she's taken a step up. She's moved from Una Voce por San Marino up to Sanremo. And then we have one of the people I'm most excited for. We have Elodie, who is my absolute Sanremo favorite. So excited about this. She's been in 3 times before, coming 7th, 8th, and 9th. I've been told by many Italians that she can't win because she's not very popular. I don't know, there's something about her personality that rubs people up the wrong way. Me personally, as an outsider watching, I love Elodie. She's so gorgeously elegant. I love her music. Really, really fantastic voice. For me, she's like an absolute wow package. But yeah, obviously I'm not Italian. I don't know all these things going on behind the scenes. Okay, we also have Francesca Michelin, who you may remember from 2016, representing Italy. She didn't win Sanremo, she came 2nd, but the winners, Stadio, weren't able to go to Eurovision because they were on tour or something, so she stepped in. So her and Francesco Gabbani, representing the Francesco as, have both been to Eurovision for Italy before. And as I said earlier, also with Massimo. And then as I already mentioned, we have Georgia, who is also someone who's been in the contest for a while as well. So some really, really big names here. This is one of the things that Sanremo does well, is that it's able to attract all of these big stars from different eras, different genres, and a lot of these people have been in Sanremo before, because Sanremo is such a huge, gigantic cultural festival that a lot of musicians aspire to be in. You have many people now who are on their third, fourth, fifth, sixth time being in it. If we look at the odds, we actually see that Elodie is the current favorite to win. Now, do I think Elodie can win? Not from what I've heard. And we also know it's very, very difficult for a female artist to win. With this new point system, it's a little bit easier because, for example, last year, Angelina Mango didn't win the televote. A woman hasn't won the televote in a very, very long time. If they keep the system where the televote is only 1/3 of the votes, then I think a woman could win again. I think they need to keep that system so that the women aren't basically all eliminated. So yeah, Elodie's the favorite, but I'm not expecting her to win. Like I said, she's come 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I think she'll probably either come 6th or 10th. But yeah, she always seems to be top 10, but down towards the lower end. There's a couple of names I'm a little bit disappointed to see missing. I love Kolapesca and Di Martino. They're not here this year. I'm also really keen to see Madame again, who came 6th 2 years ago, I think. So a little bit sad that she's not in. Okay, now we have announcement of a new country confirmed for Eurovision 2025, and that is Armenia. They are currently our 38th country. We don't have the full participation list yet, so we might be getting more. We've never had 38 countries before. This would be the first time. And not only are Armenia coming back, which was expected, this isn't a surprise, but they're bringing back their national final, which is a surprise, Depi Evrattasil. So that was used previously as their selection in 2017, 18, and 2020. I actually covered the 2020 contest, although I didn't watch it because at that point I was living in China and the time difference sucked for watching national finals. So I'm not sure what the production values are like. So this is going to be my first ever Depi Evrattasil. I'm going to have to learn how to say it because I don't know how to speak Armenian whatsoever. But that national final gave us Artsvik, which qualified, Sevak, which didn't qualify, Kami, which was an extremely difficult semi-final, and also Athenia Manukian, and we don't know how that did because the contest was cancelled. So interesting to see what's going to happen now, because in the last 3 years, Armenia have done internal selections and they've really gone for this singer-songwriter vibe. Rosa Lynn coming 20th, and then Brunette coming 14th, and then Lada Niva coming 8th. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll have noticed that I picked out this pattern where they're gaining 6 spots and also 61 points every year. So theoretically, they should come second with 244 points in the next contest. I'm kind of mixed on this. I'm excited to see what Depi Evrattasil is going to have, but I also feel like their internal selection method was working really, really well. They were getting good results with it, 3 qualifications in a row, and they're getting interesting entries. So not sure why they've decided to change. Maybe they feel like they've put enough groundwork down, they're getting a lot of interest from people, and so they feel they've enough quality artists and songs for national final. Hopefully it's for that reason and not just some random change of heart. But still very, very happy that Armenia will be back Eurovision in battle. Speaking of which, I have some good news, and that is that Eurovision is going to happen. In case you didn't hear, there was a vote in the Bal canton to see was the funding for Eurovision going to be approved. I think it's approximately 31 million euro. The vote was conducted and it passed with a 2/3 yes. Now, if it hadn't have passed, that funding may not have been released. There were clickbait rumors going around that the semi-finals were going to be cancelled because of that. I think realistically, when they put their funding number forward, they made sure it was an amount that was going to get a yes. I don't think they just like forgot about the vote coming up. So yeah, I think that they picked a number that they knew would pass. So, but yes, there was this little bit of a drama about, are the semi-finals going to be cancelled? Of course not. I think if something crazy had happened and there was a no vote, they probably would have gone in again with a lower number. And if that still hadn't worked, I think the EBU would have said, no, you can host. We're just going to go to Zagreb in Croatia instead. So yeah, I don't think the semi-finals are going to go. They're an integral part of the contest. But yes, there was a little bit of a worrisome moment where we had to wait and see, was Switzerland going to vote for the contest to go into total and utter disarray? And luckily Switzerland voted the way that we wanted. Okay, let's catch up on all of the juiciest Dutch drama. And actually, in terms of drama, Montenegro definitely wins this week. But for now, we've got news that Netherlands received around 330 submissions to their internal selection. Corland Moss, who famously said F the FBU last year and is one of their commentators, and I believe he's on the selection panel as well. He said that in particular one song really stood out, and he thinks it can win Eurovision. Do I believe people when they say that there's a song that can win Eurovision? No. This happens a lot. It's a really common thing to like build hype and excitement saying that we've got a potential winner. But yeah, great to see that there is one strong song. That's all that the Netherlands needs. They don't need 50 because they don't have a national final. They just need one song to come and get them back on track after the disaster of last year. I think it also shows a very healthy appreciation for Eurovision in the Netherlands that over 300 people had already prepared songs, despite the fact they weren't even sure if Netherlands were going to be in the contest. And on top of that, even if Netherlands were in, I think most people presume that Joost may have gone. In fact, he did almost go. So I do still think that Eurovision has a really good reputation in the Netherlands as being a great stepping platform for getting a lot of buzz and exposure for your music. Okay, let's get into all of our national final news, and let's start off with Germany, who've got an absolutely gigantic amount of submissions for their national final. 3,281 artists applied, of which 1,198 of them also had original songs. So the German system this year, you don't need to come with your own song. If you can get through the first couple of rounds, they're going to pair you up with a song. So because of that, a huge amount of artist submissions. The first heat is going to happen on Friday. The second heat is going to happen on the Saturday, the day after. Both of those heats are going to have 12 artists each, so 24 artists in total. No details yet on whether they're going to be singing original songs then. I'm guessing no. I'm guessing that is just going to be like X Factor, The Voice, where they sing like a Eurovision famous song, and then based on their performance, they're going to make it into the semi-finals or not. So 7 will make it through both of those heats into the semi-finals. So there's going to be 14 in the semi-finals, which will happen 1 week later. At that point, I'm guessing maybe we'll get original songs, but no confirmation about that yet. And then 9 of those 14 will make it through to the final, which is again 1 week later. And at that point, they've got to have their freaking songs by then. Like that's like the last opportunity. So I'm not sure if the song's going to come in the semi-finals, the final, or the heat. My guess is the semi-finals. Overall, though, this really does feel like a step up. Huge amount of song submissions and artist submissions, and also the fact that we've got 4 shows happening on kind of primetime slots on Friday and Saturday, building up a little bit of hype. I feel like this is going to be a big year for the German national final. I feel like part of this is Stefan Raab having this really good reputation for success and knowing what to do and picking good songs. I'm really excited for Germany this year. I just would like to know, when are the songs coming? Okay, let's go to some rumors from the Irish national final, Eurosong, which I think should be called Eurosong to differentiate it from Belgium, but that's another story. We have rumors that potentially Lyra might be one of the fast-tracked artists into the final. In case you don't know, in recent years, Michael Keeley, the head of delegation, has given some more established artists a fast track into the final. I think there were been 2 last year and then 2 the year before, so generally we get 2 of them in. And Lyra has been rumored from the Irish Sun, which is not a reliable tabloid at all, but they're saying that she is one of the artists who's been fast-tracked. So in case you don't know Lyra, she is a relatively established artist in Ireland from Cork. So this would be our second Cork representative in a row after Bambi. And the different thing about Lyra is that she's actually had a #1 album in Ireland, which is something I don't know when the last person we had in our national final who actually has had success and had a #1 album before. So she is significantly more established than other people we've had in previous years. So that's the exciting element of it. I recommend go checking out her video Falling if you want to get a sense of her vibe. Her voice sounds very similar to Lana Del Rey, and also sounds similar to Florence and the Machine. She's got a very elegant poise in her music videos. She's got a very different feel as well. I think she would represent Irish music in a kind of really cool way. Now, obviously, we need to wait to hear the song. She shouldn't get a pass just because of her name, the way that Wild Youth did, who absolutely sucked. Sorry, I thought they were awful. She needs to bring quality song to go. She shouldn't just get through on her name, absolutely. But it's exciting that someone like her might be in the national final because it's a real step up. From what I know so far, we're still on the Late Late Show. We're still at 6 songs. I haven't heard any difference or change in that aspect. So maybe she might be through, 1 other fast-tracked artist, and then 4 artists coming from the submitted songs. I think there were around 350 submitted songs. Okay, now let's go to our national final news from Norway, and MGP is getting a revamp. So previously we would have heats and then a grand final. Now we're just having one show, the grand final, with 10 artists. I absolutely freaking hate this. I want you to set it on fire, throw it into a volcano, and then launch it into the sun. MGP is my favorite national final, and they've cut out 75% of the shows and almost half of the songs that we get to listen to. I kind of saw it coming because in the last couple of years, they've had these huge budget cuts where we've had these very cheap looking heats and semi-finals, and then the final looked a little bit fancier and more put together. I think they've just said, no, we're getting rid of the semi-finals altogether and just putting all the money into a grand final, which is a system that they did have before. I know that before we used to have just an MGP final. That doesn't mean I hate this any less. I loved covering the MGP semi-finals, one of my highlights of the year. I always do like MGP review videos after the show. So I'm devastated that we've lost 3 MGP shows. I am going to spend the rest of my year trying to seduce a Norwegian billionaire so that they can pump money into NRK so that my MGP can be salvaged. Overall, big double thumbs down boo to these changes, but that's just the way it is. Okay, we have news from the Slovenian national final, and that is that 114 songs were submitted. 12 of them have been selected, and the list is going to be revealed on December 20th. Now, I don't know if that list is just a list of the names competing or if it's the full songs. I'm guessing it's just a list of the artists. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be the first EMA that I'm covering on this channel. Slovenians have assured me that EMA is pronounced EMA. The final is going to be on February 1st. They have this very bizarre system. The first round is going to be 5 juries made up of 5 people, so 25 people in total, and they are going to rank the songs, and the top 2 are going to make it through to a super final, and then the televote will vote. So we're going to be watching this show, 12 songs are going to compete, and then we're going to watch 25 people eliminate 83.3% of the songs, and then we're going to be left with 2, and then we can pick one of those 2 in the televote. It is such a bizarre system. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. If you want to eliminate all the songs, then just do that behind closed doors and then just give us 4 or 5 to vote on. Such a weird system, because theoretically there might be a huge fan favorite and then these 25 people eliminate it, and then we're left with 2 pieces of crud that we don't like. Hopefully they're reading the room and they see the buzz about which songs are popular and they don't eliminate the popular one. But like, what a super flawed system. That's just, it's so easy to go wrong. Okay, more national final news from Sweden, and we now know the 30 artists that will be singing in Melodifestivalen. As you know, in these news updates, I've been drip feeding you all of the names leaked by Aftonbladet. They got 28 and a half of them right. So I'm not going to go through all of the names because I've already spoken them before, but I'm going to go through a couple of the song titles and the song writers because that's new information. First of all, let's talk about Dino Medhanozic. I don't know how to say his surname, who is a Swedish Bosnian songwriter. You may know that he's the partner of Dottir. I'm not sure if they're married or not, but they have a child together. And he has this 100% direct till final record. So 100% of the 8 songs that he submitted to Melodifestivalen have gone directly to final. That's an incredible record. So Dino has written 4 songs this year, the first of which is from Andreas Lundstedt called Vicious, and he's also written this with Laurel Barker, who you may remember from Sober a couple of years ago, and also Liamu, who is quite a famous contestant. So that's definitely one I'm going to be watching out for. The second song he's written is with Clara Hammarström, On and On and On. Now this has got some huge names on it. Dino, also Jimmy Jansen, who I'll talk about later, Cassiopeia, who just won Hello Mello, which is like a junior Melodifestivalen, Peter Bostrom and Thomas Gison. If you don't know these people, they're all like quite established Swedish songwriters. And honestly, if you ask me at this point in time, this is the song that I think will win. Clara Hammarström. This is the one I'm really like hyped for. Really hoping it's a great song. Big songwriters. Clara's got a great voice. She's got great stage presence. This is a big one. We've also got Scarlett, who were a huge fan favorite last year. They've also got a Dino song, and it's also written with Jimmy Joker Thornfeld, who has all of these results and has won Melodifestivalen in the last 2 years in a row, a 3rd time as well. He's won Melfest 3 times, and also Anders Vethoff, who's also won Melodifestivalen a couple of times. So Big names this year for Scarlet. I think a lot of people were impressed with their super cool visual performance last year. So they've got a really good song called Sweet and Psycho. I'm hoping that they get the Dino magic and they will go directly finale after what happened to them last year. And then the fourth song is Myra Omar, who I admit I don't know too much about. She's singing Hush Hush. So Dino is really putting his record on the line. He's got 4 songs. They're all in different semifinals as well. Semifinal 1, 2, 4, and 5. So theoretically, he could keep up his incredible record. Another big songwriter we have this year is Jimmy Joker Thornfeld. As I mentioned, has won the last 2 years. He's got a song called Teardrops with Angelino, also written by Linny and Joy Deb, who you may know as being really big writers for Melfest as well. And also Tusa, who won 2021, has contributed to that song as well. He's also written for Arwen, Khalifa, Maya Ivarshan, and Malu Pritz, who's one of my people to watch out for. Malu Pritz's song is called 24K Gold. Super cool title. The lead songwriter there is Anders Retov, who's also, it's really hard for me to explain to you which songwriters have written what. I'm actually going to show you the songwriter web from Dolphin Dane, who does these really great visuals of who's written which song, and you can just see the amount of incestuous intermingling between all of the Swedish songwriters is absolutely insane. Look at this web of mess, and you can just see not only the quantity of songs these songwriters are writing for Melfest, but how they're all like pairing up with different people to write different songs. So I think the big names to look out for are Jimmy Joker, Dino, Joy, and Linnea Deb. I think Thomas Gison had a reputation for writing the good songs in the past. He wrote Euphoria, but now I do think he's a little bit kind of past it. Cassiopeia is a big name as well, and Jimmy Jansen. These are like the top tier people who write the big songs that all the artists are clamoring for. Speaking of Jimmy Jansen, he's written the song for John Lundvik, which is called Voice of the Silent. So I imagine we're going to get something a little bit more pared down, maybe something similar to what Voices from Tusse. And then we have Måns Zelmerlöw's song is going to be called Revolution, and he isn't with any of those big name artists. He's actually written this with David Lindgren, who you may know is the host from a couple of years ago. So Måns going a different route. He's not going with the standard songwriters. He's doing something a little bit different. Is that part of the revolution? Is this like a meta breaking the fourth wall criticism of how all the same songwriters are Melody Festival? I don't know. But we also have Victoria Silvstedt. Her song is written by Jimmy Jansen and Thomas Jason. So I'm guessing we're going to get like a big Schlager raucous thing. That song is called Love It. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be fun. I'm guessing that's going to be direct finale. I'm looking forward to seeing what Måns Zelmerlöw and John Lundvik have, because obviously previous winners coming back, you'd imagine they have something pretty strong. Måns has said that his song is better than Heroes. I think it's got to be better than Heroes if he wants to win Melody Festival, because the standard of Eurovision has gone up since he won in 2015. At this point in time, Måns is absolutely dominating the odds with a 41% chance to win, John Lundvik with 7, Scarlett with 7, and Clara with 4. Obviously, this is based on nothing but name recognition because we haven't heard the songs yet. I'm guessing that Clara's going to jump up there. I'm still thinking it's going to be Clara. Maybe Malu Pritz if she's got something good. Her last couple of entries haven't been that good and she hasn't had great results. But I'm looking at both of them. Obviously, Måns and John Lundvik as well. I think Victoria could be a little bit of a surprise getting to the final, but I don't think she'll win. The winner, I think, will come from those 4. And even I think Malu is a little bit of a wildcard there because she's never had a good result before. So yeah, it's looking pretty excited. No one I'm like super hyped for, because I usually love Dotter, Marcus and Martinez, and Liamu. They're the kind of like ones who bring the electro pop that I love, and none of them are here this year. So I'm hoping that some of the less established names are going to stand up, and like maybe we'll start to see some like new generation coming through. That is as deep a dive as I can do into Melfest without getting into that big messy web and getting stuck in it and eaten by a spider. Okay, if you are part of my Patreon, go watch this video on Patreon where I'll do my bonus Patreon news. That's it for today. No new donations on PayPal or Buy Me Coffee. But if you want to support the channel, I'll have links for you down below. And of course, thank you to all my patrons for supporting me from all around the world. If you want to watch these videos without ads, get the longer versions of song, copyright, please go do check that out. But of course, thank you so much just for watching, and I hope to see you in another Eurovision news analysis very soon. Goodbye.